Hello, guys. We will start in a few minutes here, so enjoy our interlude. Hi, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to our first ever episode. So, welcome to A Warrior Meets a Survivor. I'm your host, Rosario Terrell, and I am the founder of the Mental Warriors Organization, which is an organization that aims to remove the stigma around mental health. And today's guest is one amazing, beautiful, and courageous young woman, a trailblazer, and the founder of I Am Healing Foundation, Miss Rianne Senining. Rianne, though we have not met personally, is someone who I have been admiring from afar and supporting her cause and mission because it is something that I truly believe in. Um, During our initial conversation, I knew right away that Rianne was someone that will continue to create change in this world, not just by inspiring others with her story of triumph, but by fighting for those women who I'm so sorry, but every time I think about it, I get emotional because you guys will just be amazed at how Rianne has overcome so much in her life to get to where she is right now. And though I am reading from a script, I created a script because I wanted to not stay off track. But as I was creating this script, I could not stop but think about what this woman has done to overcome such trauma in her life to be where she is right now, inspiring other people, inspiring me, and is willing to share her story. That way other women who may be going through the same thing can find the light just like she did. So without further ado, let me introduce Rianne and bring her to the screen, and I hope you guys enjoy our show. Hello.
Hi guys. Hi.
What did I tell you? I created a script and then I got off track because I thought about you and I was just like, oh my goodness.
I'm also starting to get emotional right now. It's like I've never had the chance to actually tell my story on a platform. So hopefully I can, get through this interview without crying, but most likely I will cry.
I know. I know our first initial conversation, you told me the story and I did not have any words to say because, with what you went through, which of course I'm going to have you share that, it's not something that, is easy to talk about. It's not something where a lot of people, take that trauma and turn it into something beautiful, just like you did. So please, Miss Rianne, introduce yourself and tell us about this foundation that you created and, a little bit of a background of yourself, what you do, where you live, where you're from. That way, our audience can know you just a little bit more, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of
Okay.
the show.
All right. Thank you for that introduction. I was really touched by the introduction, by the way. So, hi guys, my name is Rianne, and I am the founder of I Am Healing Foundation. And I'm originally from Cebu, Philippines, but I moved to Los Angeles in 2016 to pursue the film industry, which I'm still trying to pursue right now. I'm 23 years old, and I started the foundation when I was 22. So a little bit of a backstory to why I started this foundation with the help of two amazing, my best friends. They helped me with this one. So back in 2017, when I was just starting out in LA, something very traumatizing happened to me. I'm not really gonna talk about like the specific details because um, some of those things are a little bit personal to me. But if you guys would want to know what would really happen, feel free to message me. But for the sake of the show, I'm just gonna summarize it a little bit. All I'm gonna say is that it was at nighttime, and uh, it happened in Los Angeles, and it and there were two guys. Well, even thinking about it, that like there's still so much pain with that story because you can never fully recover from something that traumatizing to you. And thinking back about it now, it's like, wow, it only happened like 4 years ago, but those 4 years seem to have never like it has never gone away. Like I still think about it all the time. So there were two of them, and it honestly could have cost my life if I wasn't if if because I'm a very religious person, if God or if the Holy Spirit wasn't there to wake me up, to tell me to fight, because we've all heard all situations like this and we know how they end. um it could have gotten so much worse. I could have died, and thankfully, I found that strength to fight my way out of it, to fight those two huge men. And I'm really small. I'm like 5 feet. and they were like 6 feet. So you can only imagine the amount of strength that I had to endure. Um, so after that, I was super scared to go to the police because I did not want to see any men. I was terrified of men. But then my best friend, he called me. The only guy that I actually trusted at that time, he called me and he was like, "We need to go to the police. We need to talk about this. We need to report this." And when I went to the police, the first thing that they asked me was, it was not, "Are you okay? Um, do you need anything?" or something like that. No, the first thing that they asked me was, "What did you wear?" And at that time, I was so pissed because I wasn't wearing anything flashy. It was January. It was still winter. It was hella cold. So I was wearing like a jacket and some pants and a scarf. I was fully covered up. But that question still haunts me to this day because for some reason people don't believe that you have been sexually assaulted if you weren't wearing um, a provocative clothing, which I highly like. That is not right. We need to stop thinking that way. So yeah, and then that's basically what happened. And then I started that foundation. I started this foundation because I was like, I need, I need to make a change. There were so many things that happened in between those things. Number one, the trauma itself, it like that will never go away, and healing from that trauma is another different story, which I will tell in a bit. But that's what happened.
Thank you, Rianne. It's a story of courage and triumph. At the end of the day, you endured so much, and as I said, that's not something that's easy to talk about. A lot of women, statistically, a lot of women who get sexually assaulted um, don't come out because of the same experience that you experienced. They are always first. There's a stigma, right? That if you're sexually assaulted, it's because of what you wear, which, as we all know, us women, we know not, that it's not about what we wear. A person who wants to sexually assault a woman will want to do it no matter what you wear. And, second is thank God that you are here today. You know,
Gives me chills, to be
you
honest.
know, I'm sure when you think about it, what happened in the past, I'm sure, you still have that trauma because it's not something that's easy to overcome. But as I said, you are a strong and courageous woman and so inspiring. And, I mean, what did I tell you guys? Isn't she so amazing? And thank you so much for sharing about that. Now, can you tell us more about I Am Healing? What is the purpose behind I Am Healing Foundation?
So, I Am Healing Foundation is a nonprofit organization that caters to women and children who are victims of sexual assault, abuse, domestic violence, or any form of trauma. So, now this foundation focuses on the healing aspect. We have counselors and lawyers who are here to help you provide that total healing. So this is what I want everybody to get out from this interview is the total healing, because we want to help you. We want to provide a safe space for you, an environment to help you heal, proper people, like the right people that you can talk to help you heal, and necessary like resources that can help you heal, because healing is not just like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm already healed. No, it's a 1 2 3 4 even 5 step process. And because there are so much things involved with healing, not a lot of those resources are available, especially here in Cebu. And with this foundation, we want to be able to provide those resources to make it easily accessible to a lot of people, because we know that even like therapy can cost so much. Even just talking to a counselor can cost a lot. So that's one of the main things that we want to happen in this foundation. And also the second thing is psychoeducation. We want to educate people about trauma and healing, because in the society we live in, there some people can misinterpret trauma as like as a sin, or it's like, oh, that's just nothing, or like just
Mhm.
pray it all away, like, you know what I mean. And me, as a Catholic myself, and I'm a very religious person, I know that it takes more than just prayers to heal. Like, you have to back up those prayers too, and we are here to help you back them up. It can't just be like you cannot heal on your own. That's the main
Mhm.
thing. And you need a lot of people there with you, and you need the right people there with you, and you need the right environment there for you. So yes.
That's amazing. So if there's anybody that's watching this right now and you have gone through some type of sexual trauma, please reach out to I Am Healing Foundation. I Am Healing, for all of our American audiences, I Am Healing Foundation is based right now in the Philippines, in Cebu, which is actually my hometown as well. That is where I grew up. So if you are somebody who has been hiding in the shadows because you do not have anybody to reach out to, anybody to talk to, and maybe the people around you are judging you for what happened and blaming you, because that's typically what happens, please reach out to I Am Healing, because their foundation is amazing. What they do on a daily basis is changing lives. So if that is you right now, please reach out to our lovely Rianne. So let's talk about trauma. So, Rianne, I want you to share with me your own definition of trauma. And I'll share a little bit of mine, because yesterday, when I met with my psychiatrist, she gave me a broader definition of trauma. And believe it or not, I did not know that trauma encompassed a lot of different things, not just bad experiences. So, Rianne, on that note, can you share with me your own definition of trauma?
That's actually a really tricky question, and it made me think. Oh man. Okay, I guess because of what happened to me, there's always a negative light to trauma. uh, so for me, trauma is damn, that's hard.
I know. I mean, trust me, yesterday when I was talking to my doctor, he was like, "Do you have any trauma in your life?" And I was like, well, I don't remember. Like, I felt stupid because I said, I don't remember getting into any bad accidents. And she was like, well, that's not just what trauma is, right? That includes a lot of different things, like your childhood, like maybe you
Ah,
were bullied in school, or, like for your
okay,
experience, of course, sexual assault brings trauma too. And so
okay,
that's when I was like, mind blown, sorry if anybody is listening and thinking, oh my God, you didn't know what that is. But I mean,
okay. So I think I know what I think I know what. Um, if it was my definition, if I was writing it on the dictionary, I would say that trauma is like trauma is something. Trauma is something that is latched onto you. Like, let's say, like, trauma is a leech that will, to me, that will stick with you throughout the rest of your life if you don't find a way to embrace it and take it out of your life, if you know what I mean. Because, like,
yeah,
leeches, they suck on your blood.
yeah,
And then the more you pull it out, the more it gets tighter.
yep.
So, like, for to take out the leash, you need to relax. You cannot constrain, so that when the experts pull it out, it is much easier to pull out. Do
Hmm.
you see, like, the analogy that that I'm putting together?
No, that makes absolute sense, because it's true, right? The more you try to pull out a leech from yourself, the more it's sucking blood out of you. And, just like trauma, the more you try to get rid of it, the more, the stronger it gets in a way, because now you're facing it head on. just like a leech that's trying to suck your blood.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
there's a proper way
you
to
know,
like pick up the leash, the leech,
mhm,
and the proper way to do that is to, like remain calm. Um, don't think about it too like you have to have like mindset wise, like now I'm talking about trauma, like you have to have a
mhm.
certain mindset, like to think that okay, like I'm not gonna resist anymore. I'm gonna face it at head on, and I'm gonna see where this takes me, and I'm gonna see how I'm gonna fight it. You know what I mean? So
That's awesome. Thank you so much. So, anytime we talk about trauma, it is automatically associated to a negative experience, as we mentioned. But you were able to turn that experience into something that you are so triumphant over now. How did you do it? That is the $1,000,000 question. How did you do it? What was the silver lining? That's what I want to know. Because I'm sure a lot of people who are watching, they want to know. How did you do it?
um to be honest, this is gonna be like a very emotional question because um what happened to me really changed my perspective in life. It made me think of ending my own life because I was so afraid, I was embarrassed of what happened to me. And the turning point to that one was honestly, and like no bias or anything like that, it was really my family. Because as I was going through all the things that I wanted to do to end my life, I was thinking about the people who were always there for me, who had my back from the beginning, and who who knows that I can accomplish anything if if I had God by my side. And when I thought of them, I thought like this is such a selfish thing to do. Like just because something bad really happened to me doesn't mean that I can just end it right away then and there. And I and as I thought about my family, I thought about the other people who are going through the exact same thing as I did. And I know there are so many girls out there who have had it worse than me. You know, theirs is more like physical harm, and like just much much worse. And I thought about them and I was like, wait a minute, like if this happened to me, this could happen to somebody else, and I want to stop what happened to me so that no one else can ever feel this way. Because the pain that comes with this trauma is severe. It can last for a lifetime. Even if when I'm probably 80 years old, I'm still going to have this trauma. But I thought about that. And then it gave me the motivation to start to heal myself, because I know that I cannot help other people if I cannot help myself. And then it went from there. It started trickling down, and I started, going to therapy. I started listening to my mentors and to people who have helped me heal. And that's what made me mentally stronger right now, is thinking about other people rather than me. So throughout all my healing process, I wasn't thinking about um, like for my own benefit. I was also thinking about what can I do to help others. Because
Wow.
I know for me, like that's how I can heal, is if I can help others.
Amazing. That is amazing, Rianne. As you said, it's not easy to overcome trauma. It's something that stays with you for the rest of your life. There's a lot of ways to um, kind of go about it, with what you're saying, therapy, meeting a counselor, talking about it. But the trauma stays with you no matter where you go, no matter how old you are. It's just a beautiful thing that you turn that trauma into something so selfless, where you didn't say, I am a victim, the world owes me. Instead, you said, I am a victim. I owe the world the right to know what I went through, what I can do to help other people, And this is why I started this foundation, because I want other women out there to have a support system and somewhere to go to. That way they don't have to go through it alone.
Wow.
I can't imagine, it's so, you think about 4 years, sometimes you say 4 years is a long time, but when you go through something like that, 4 years is not a long time, you know? It's a fresh wound. And when I look at you right now, I will never in a million years think that you went through that. I would have never known that this is what you went through have you not talked to me about it. And I am grateful that I was able to connect with you. As soon as I saw you post something about I am healing, I was like, yep, this is somebody that I want to meet. And, you are as beautiful as a flower, Rianne, with your story that inspires many. I'm sure there's a lot of girls out there looking at you, looking up to you, saying, I want to be just like her, triumphant and strong. So thank you for that. So let's talk about state of mind, right? My first question to you is, how did you overcome the pain and the thoughts that came with the pain whenever the trauma started creeping in? Because,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
that I think me personally, I want to know how you overcame the pain, because for me, right, I suffer depression. And whenever I'm going through those dark thoughts, I know how hard it is to get out of that state of mind. And I have not experienced the same thing that you experienced. And I can't imagine, how it is going from being so happy, having the trauma hit, going into a dark state of mind and having to pull yourself out from that. So if you don't mind sharing, please, I would love to know.
Actually, when that happened to me, um, the first thing, like, my mind state at that time was very, very dark, to the point where I felt like I was a whole different person.
Mhm.
And what affected that was my creativity. So before that trauma happened to me, I was dancing, I was singing, I was writing, I was doing all these creative things, and it happened to me naturally. Like, I can just have, like, the natural flow would come, the creativity flow would just come. Now, when when that trauma happened, it blocked that part of my brain, my creativity, to the point where I stopped dancing, I stopped writing. I was in an acting school there, so I was forced to act, and I wasn't happy about it. I wasn't the me when I came to LA. Like that me was gone. Like, that's dead. So I felt at that time that I was like literally a walking zombie, because I did not know myself. I did not know what I wanted to do. I did not know what I love. I lost sight of my dreams. I lost sight of my goals. So for like a year and a half, I was just floating, basically. Like, I don't care where life takes me anymore. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. If something bad happens to me, it happens to me. Like, that was my mindset back then. And then when I came back home, I came back home on 2017, December of 2017, and it was at that time when me and my parents finally talked about what happened to me, and I talked to my dad, and he explained to me how he felt about the situation, and to him, he blamed himself, because he said that if I've never just let my daughter go to the States, if I was there, if I was there to protect her, then maybe this would have never happened to her. And then I saw how that situation broke my heart, because I never thought that like this could affect them in that kind of way. So when I finally realized like the effect of what happened to me, the amount of damage that it has done to my family, that's when I pulled myself back up. I was like, okay, that's it. That's enough of this. Like I can, because I'm the type of person who cannot stand to watch my loved ones um, experience experience some bad emotions. You know what I mean? So I couldn't stand that. And then the fact that my dad was like if he could turn back time, like he just wished that he was there to protect me. I I knew that I couldn't be a walking zombie anymore. I had to bring back I had to bring myself back to life. Yeah, and that was a turning point to my mindset. Okay, that's it. That's enough. Scrap that away. No more walking zombie. And then I started
Wow.
feeding myself. I started feeding myself with with good thoughts, good relationships, and especially with the Word of God. Reading the Bible and really talking to God about, Lord, why did this happen to me? Like, out of all the things that could have happened to me, why is this the thing that happened to me? Like, it could have just been something else, but why this? And then, you know, in a dream, God told me that there's a reason for everything, and that reason is now the foundation. He wanted me to be a catalyst, because like if I didn't go through what I went through, how can I be able to relate to the people who have gone through this? There's a difference between talking to someone who has not gone through it and to someone who has gone through it. So I would be able to
Exactly.
empathize. So yeah. Sorry.
Oh, don't apologize. That's so, again, the only word I can ever say about you is amazing. Like that is the one word. Every time I talk to you, that is the one word that comes out of my mouth. Amazing. Like, as I said, something like this is hard to talk about, and yet here you are, a catalyst for change. You are a role model for women out there who experience the same, who pulled yourself out from that, brave enough to say, you know what, I am not a victim. I am triumphant. I am somebody who is going to make a change in the world. And that that is just that to me is just something that is, as I said, amazing. There's no other way. There's no other way to describe it. It's just an amazing. You're just an amazing person, Rianne, for having going through that and finding that silver lining. So my next question to this is, stigma. Let's talk about stigma. Because in correlation to mental health, what stigma have you encountered going through all this?
Oh, a lot. Number one, religious stigma. Number two, cultural stigma. And number three, uh, society, like a stigma in society. So I'm going to talk about the religious stigma first. We come from a country that is very conservative, you know,
Yep.
like always cover up and like sex before marriage and all that, which I respect. I totally respect that. But let's put that in like this situation. Like those things cannot apply to a situation like this, because number one, what happened to me, what happened to all those girls, we did not plan that. We did not plan to get raped. We did not plan for bad things to happen to us. It was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And we have no control over it. But what we do have control over is the things that we say. So when you talk to someone who is a rape victim and then you ask them like this, like, like that happened to you because like you didn't pray enough, or like you stopped going to church, or so that's blaming God for something that God didn't do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like, what, like why would you want to think that way? So that's something that I really want to get rid of, because like it's unfair for the people who are going through this, because they didn't blame God for what happened to them. They didn't blame anyone, and for someone to go up to them and say, like, it's you because you stopped praying, you stopped doing this, and all that, like you're not doing all this and doing all that. So that's one. you know I'm pretty sure you've had like somebody has told you about that before, right?
All the time. So I'll share a little bit. When I opened up about having depression, the I got was literally because there's a few people that reached out to me and said, "Oh, it's because you strayed away from God." And I was like, "What?" So that was the first thing that came to my mind. And then I had one person that told me that depression is the devil's lie. And I was like, "What?" So that was two. Um, I am at a place right now where those comments don't affect me because I have found,
That's
just like you, I've found a silver lining where I'm like, you know what? I do not care what anybody says. This is the reason why I also started the Mental Warriors, because of that stigma. And it hurts when people tell you that, oh, depression is the devil's lie. It's because you strayed away from church. It's because you don't pray enough. It's because you don't go to church on Sundays anymore. And let me tell you, my faith in God. And, I am one for all religions. Like, I believe I am Christian myself, but whatever religion you have, whoever you believe in, whatever higher power you believe in, that is your own, that is your own belief, your own prayer, whatever. But for me, I am Christian, so I believe in God. And through everything in my life, God has been with me, and I am not one to bash people and say, oh, the reason that happened to you is because you lost faith and you are not close to God anymore. So yes, I can totally relate to what you're saying, and it sucks.
Yeah, because
You
it just gives it gives a negative um profile to that certain religion,
Mhm.
and I don't want that to happen. And in the foundation, we have, we offer faith-based counseling, for people who would want to focus healing, especially, spiritual healing. Like we offer
Mhm.
that as well. And if there's a big stigma surrounding that, a lot of people won't get that services because they might feel like, like they're just gonna say that I'm not, I'm a bad Christian, blah blah blah, I'm a bad Catholic, blah 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 blah. Like, no, like we want you to avail this, like we want you to have faith-based counseling if you feel in yourself, not what other people says around you, if in yourself you think that you need that spiritual healing coming from God. Like you yourself need to decide that, not what other people say,
Mhm.
because um I know that I wouldn't have gone so much, like so far, if I hadn't had my prayer warriors behind my back, if I didn't do the spiritual work that I needed to do within myself. And it does work. It works. Like
Mhm.
right here. But at the same time, like the reason why so many people stray away from that is because a lot of people put negative light into that. So we want to switch that. We want to put a positive light into that.
Mhm.
We would want to say something like, "Oh, um, so this happened to you. Okay, well, let's pray together. Let's pray together. Let's do this together." Rather than
Mhm.
like you're not praying, like man, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So let's
You're not
let's let's
praying enough, you don't have enough God in you.
yeah. So let's build a community around it and be like, come on, let's do this together rather than isolating that someone.
Yeah.
So and the second one is cultural stigma, especially in the Philippines itself. Philippines.
I love my country, but let me tell you, when it comes to stigma, we
So
are the worst.
no, okay. So there's this thing where how am I gonna say this? Like women are always put down by men. like women, you know, there's a lot of men out here in the Philippines who are just like, oh, I'm better than you, blah 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 blah. And then us, like we're still fighting for our equality.
Correct.
So when someone like a rape victim like me comes to this country and wanting to be in a position of power, you know, people can and then I get that position of power by doing the right thing. A lot of people would say like, oh, you slept your way to the top, like,
Yep.
oh, you're probably sleeping with a boss, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So there's a lot of that going on around here, and that boil and then that can trickle down to a case because that can be misinterpreted. And if that's misinterpreted, then people will be like, see, like, people will make rape jokes about it, people will just have
Yep.
fun with the situation. And then that's something that really like boils down in my blood. It's like, no, there are a lot of women out here who are qualified, more than qualified, to get that position, and they've actually worked their way hard to get to that position.
Yep.
So guys, let's stop that.
Yeah, it's tough. I've heard that more than once where I have friends who are currently in a position of power, and not even just, in the Philippines it's worse, but even here in the US. And that's always the one thing. As soon as they see that you are a woman of power, or you are a woman who holds a title, that's always a thing. Oh, you know what? She slept her way to the top. That is always the connotation or the stigma. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Why do people always think that we sleep our way to the top? Like, no, we don't. We work hard. We work harder than ever. Because not only do we have to break ceilings to get to where we want to be, we have to go through all these stigmatizing comments about how women get to a position of power. So,
Yeah, but I also salute to those men who don't think that way, to those men who actually support, their women, their mother, their sister, their
mhm.
significant other, who are behind their backs, you know what I mean? Like they're like, okay,
Yep.
like you did this because you are such a great woman. So
Mhm.
to you guys out there who have done that, to your mother, sister, significant other, I salute you, because we need more men like you. We need
Yes.
more men like you to do that here.
Shout out to my husband. That's why I married you. Because you
Congratulations on
support
getting
me.
married.
Yep. Shout out to my
Yes.
husband, the one person that I will say that tomorrow I want to do this. The next day I say I want to do this, and he will just say, "Go ahead, honey, do whatever you want. I am here to support you." So,
Oh, that's so
women
sweet.
out there, you need to find a man just like my husband who will always support you no matter what crazy idea you have. Don't find somebody who thinks that you are a threat, because it happens.
Exactly, exactly.
In a way, he thinks I'm a threat if I'm angry, but not if I get angry.
We, we have a mood swings once in a while. But let's not get too crazy. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So the next one, the last one was, oh, hello? What happened? It stopped. Rian, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. The video on my end stopped for a second, and I am not great with technology. So, anyways, the last one that you were saying was societal stigma. Stigma, was that correct? Did I say that right?
Yes. Society. This can happen to like anybody all over the round all over around the world. Um, where society deems you unworthy because of what happened to you. Like,
Mhm.
let's say, like, there's a reason why I don't speak out about my experience to a lot of people, because most of the times I get like questions like, oh, you were too easy, like you were asking for it, or you were just being dumb. And those comments make me feel like inferior, and it and it made me think that that happened because it was my fault, because society deemed that it was my fault, when in reality I never asked for this. I Like, it just happened to me. So when that happens, when this is when society deems it as it's your fault, it's really hard for a person to get over those comments,
Yep.
to switch that mindset, because it's like 10 out of the people around you are saying it's your fault. So it just makes you feel that there's no other place for you to be safe. And it is my job, it is the foundation's job to have an environment which is safe for them to talk about their experiences. So that's why, like, when I meet someone, I would always encourage them, like, if they're comfortable enough to speak out about their situation, I would ask them, like, hey, whenever you're ready, because you have a great story to tell, we need these stories to change the way society thinks. Because if
Yep.
we shut ourselves down, if we stop talking about it, they're just gonna talk to us left and right. They're gonna overpower us, and we need to step up. We need to get out of
Yep.
that. Like, we need to overpower them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well
So
said.
that's
Well said. Yep, those three stigmas are real. Not, for me, what I advocate for is, of course, mental health, and those three: societal stigma, what was the other one? Religious
cultural
stigma,
society. Yeah.
cultural, are hurtful, and I always say, right, you wouldn't really know how it feels, like truly how it feels, unless you go through it.
Mhm.
And a lot of stigma comes from people who assume they know what it's like to be in that position. Like for me, with my own struggles with my mental health, that is always the one thing that I continuously have to fight for. I feel like I always have to fight for a right to belong, because whenever you say you have a mental illness, people automatically assume that there's something wrong with you, right? Like something really wrong with you. When in fact, just like any other medical condition, it can be treated. You have to go to therapy, you have to see the right people, you have to talk about it in order for you to feel better. So, thank you for sharing that, Rianne. Now, my next question for you is, what would you say to someone out there right now who may be going through the same thing?
So, I don't know if you guys saw the video that we did in the foundation.
A
That's
beautiful video. I am
Yeah.
going to post it because it was so beautiful. That video brought me to tears. The one where you guys created the music video, right?
Yes, yes, the music video.
Beautiful.
So it's a song called "You Are Not Alone" from the Broadway play Dear Evan Hansen. And there's this one line in that song that says, "There's a place where you don't have to be alone. Every time when you call out, you're a little less alone." So I have this. If I were talking to someone, like, I would be like, "You have a place here for you. There's a place where you can finally be safe. There's a place where you can finally feel comfort and acceptance and love and care. And you don't have to be alone anymore. We are here for you. This foundation is here for you." So that's what I would be
Oh,
saying. And I would show them the video and be like, "Look."
I know. I love that video. That video is so beautiful. I think I viewed it like 3 times, and I showed like a lot of people. I was just like, look at this video. Isn't it beautiful?
So much.
It was a really good video. Yeah. And then it's funny because everybody on that video I kind of know. I moved here to the US in 2011, and I have not been home since COVID started. So I usually go home once every 3 years, but it's funny how I still know some people, and maybe they know me, but I'm a stalker. So
Hello. Can you say that
Hello?
again? I think I froze.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, what I was just saying is that I know a few people that were on that video, and I'm a stalker, so I know all of them, but they probably don't know me.
It's kind of funny, like, we have so many, like, mutual friends, and then, like, we just met.
No, I know, right? And it's like we're best friends.
So, yes.
Thank you for that. Yes, and guys, I am going to share Rianne's foundation on my page, on the Mental Warriors page, on the Instagram page, so that you guys can join the group. If you know somebody, please reach out to Rianne, as I mentioned earlier. If you know somebody who's hiding in the dark, hiding in the shadows because they don't have anybody to go to, anyone to talk to, please reach out to the I Am Healing Foundation. And for those who are in the United States, reach out to me so I can direct you to our resources here in the US as well. Because we also have a lot here. But in the Philippines, I Am Healing is a trailblazer for women who go through sexual assault. So thank you for creating the foundation. And speaking of foundation, where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
I was actually thinking about this when you but ultimately, in 10 years, we envision ourselves providing our services not only in Cebu, but throughout the nation, like all over the Philippines. And we hope that every women and children and even men, because men, we're including you as well, who are victims of these situations, that they will be empowered to come together as one as we eradicate the crime that has scarred so many of our fellow men. So,
Yes. Thank you for mentioning that, Rianne. Because, there's also a stigma for men when it comes to sexual assault. So most of the time, we only think that women go through it, but you'd be surprised at the amount of men that also go through it. More women than men for sure, but know that men also experience sexual assault. How would you like to be remembered by future generations, Rianne?
honestly, I just want to be remembered on how see I I guess I want to be remembered on how my faith was able to change or impact someone else's life in a positive way. Um, no monuments or anything like that. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But like actually, like just the experience. I want people to remember that that there was a woman who thought about ending her life, but now she has helped other people, like help. See, I can't even English anymore. I've been in Cebu for like 4 months, and my English is starting to go.
It's not bad at all. It's
Guys,
the
like,
nerves. It's the nerves.
no, it's actually like a really tough question. Like, if you would ask yourself that, how would you answer it?
Well, you know what? The only reason I'm able to answer this is because I also thought about it. But same thing. I would want to be remembered as somebody who was a trailblazer for change, at the end of the day, where people would, younger generations would know that if I was able to do it, if I was able to overcome, you know, my mental illness and, find a way to help others overcome and, help them find a light, that they can do it too. That's how I want to be remembered, by future generations. And I'm sure because, these future generations, they're so high tech. I feel like I'm ancient trying to figure out this whole streaming thing, but I'm sure future generations will be smart and able to do even bigger things than what I'm doing or what you're doing. And I just hope that for my organization in the next 10 years, it's going to be a global organization where it's the one place people can come to and, feel like a safe place that they won't be judged for their mental illness, no matter what it is, depression, anxiety, PTSD, ADHD, ADD, everything in the book, you can come as one, come as yourself, and you don't have to hide it. So, see, I told you I practiced my answer.
You did, you did it. What, 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Actually, yeah, yes, exactly what you said.
Right back at you. Wow, you'd be amazed how I was able to stick to these questions on the script. You see, I told you.
Okay, but yeah, that's exactly what you said.
Well, thank you. I guess you can give me my answer. Well, Rianne, we are at the end of our segment. We are closing in at 12, well, 1 o'clock over there, midnight over here, and 9 p.m. in the US. So, would you like to share anything else? Please share.
Yes. So, hi guys. Our foundation is growing rapidly in the short amount of time that we just started. So, if you guys want to volunteer, please email me at iamhealingph@gmail.com. We are anticipating a certain amount of cases in the in this year, and there's only a few of us in the foundation, and we would appreciate all the help that we can get. So if you have any ideas, or if you yourself had gone through a situation similar as mine, and if you want to talk about it, I am definitely here for you. I feel like I'm the right person that you can talk to about this.
Absolutely.
And yes, and for any one of you who want to do a group session, we can arrange that as well. And I would also like to thank Ro here for inviting me to this interview, and for giving me the chance to talk about the situation and to raise awareness. That's also one of the main things that I want to do in this foundation. And thank you, Ro. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And as I said, you were the perfect person to pilot this show. I guess we'll call it a show. To pilot this show, because you are an inspiration to all. I cannot wait to see where this foundation will be in the next few years. And I am looking forward to working with you. I know we talked about a few plans where we're going to work together to help,
Ooh,
people
let's
go
talk about it
through.
real quick. So yeah, like um,
Okay. am I
the
am I
collaboration.
just am I the speaker now?
Let's talk about the collaboration on this.
Okay, let's collaborate. So yes, okay. I guess I'll share. So I am a certified life coach here in the United States. A life coach is somebody who basically is an accountability partner for you. Me and Rianne have talked about partnering up, where I will be providing free sessions for anybody who has gone through any type of trauma. I do specialize in mental health, in the aspect of mental health. I'm also studying to become a psychologist, so a doctor in psychology. So that all tied in together, I do have the credentials and the ability to help those who have lost self-confidence, who are going through trauma, or who just need some direction in their life to get to a better place. And so me and Rianne have talked about, doing a few workshops, one-on-ones, of course, as a free service through I Am Healing. So there's that.
Thank you so much for sharing us, for providing your services for us, because I I don't think there's like a life coach here in the Philippines who I would want more than you to help our foundation grow and become better. So yes, please reach out to me if you would like to have life coach sessions with Ro. We can arrange that for you as well.
Yes, ma'am. I will add, I do what I call Monday Warrior sessions through my organization. Every Monday, we get together through a Zoom call and we talk about anything, really. experiences. If you're somebody who has a mental illness, we share, we talk about that. And then I do plug in a workshop at the end of that session or towards the end of that session for confidence building, overcoming trauma and a whole bunch of different stuff. So I aim to do the same thing with I Am Healing. So I am so excited. Woo!
And one more thing.
Yes.
We have our psychoeducational courses will be up and live every Friday starting February. So February,
Woo!
our psychoeducational courses. I will update you guys on that one. I will send you the link to those who would want to join and learn more about trauma. So
Yes. Rianne, can you explain a little bit about psychoeducation? Because I am sure that a lot of people don't really understand what psychoeducation is. I know what it is, but please share, what psychoeducation is.
Psychoeducation is basically talking about, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
But education about different types of, one, like psychology, one, mental health, like subcategories of that, and also subcategories of mental health is trauma, right? Correct.
Yep. Correct.
I feel like
Yep.
it's better.
No, you got it. Nope. So yes, exactly what Rihanna. So psychoeducation is just educating you about the different aspects of psychology at the end of the day. So that may be dealing with trauma, dealing with a mental illness, there's very many different techniques such as cognitive behavioral techniques to overcome trauma or any type of psychological effects brought to you by trauma. So that is what psychoeducation is. So that is, if you're somebody who wants to learn about psychoeducation or is going through trauma or mental illness or whatever the case may be, psychoeducation is great for you, even if it's just informational. So I highly recommend that you join to get educated at the end of the day. So yay! Well, closing remarks, Rianne, once again, I am so honored to have met someone like you. You inspire me in so many ways that you do not understand. From the moment I first spoke with you, as I said, I was blown away by the story behind the face. And you do so much. As I said, the one thing, if there's anything that you guys should get from this episode, it's that over, becoming a victim and turning yourself into a trailblazer from that state is something that you should be proud of, because not a lot of people can do that. And if Rianne can do it, you can do it too. You can do it too. Trust me. Mindset is powerful, but the will to change your mindset is what will get you there. I will leave you with that. So, Rianne, thank you so much for sharing your story, talking to us about I Am Healing, talking about what the future is going to look like for you. And I cannot wait to work with you and to bring this foundation to the next level. And so for everybody who has joined us tonight, I am so thankful that you guys have stayed with us through the whole episode. I will be sharing Rianne's foundation on my page as well as on my organization. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thank you. All right, guys. Bye. Have a great night.